Hello and welcome to today's video where I will teach you how to use ListView in Android Studio, and we will create a simple app that will have a list. And to my belief, this is the easiest way to create a list app in Android Studio. So let me just show you. This will be the first video out of 4. So it's going to be a list of 4 videos. This is the first one. And as I said, it will show you how to create a very simple list app. The second video will talk about customizing the list. So it will teach you how to add a new resource and how to make your list look as you desire or as you need. The third video will talk about dynamic lists and especially about adding and removing items in a dynamic way. So you don't have a predefined list, a predefined number of items in that list. And the last video of this series, it will teach you how to add a task to be performed on click. So when you click on any item of your list, something will happen. You can set something to be executed. So what we'll do exactly in this first video, this will be the app that we'll build. It will have a text view on top and the list underneath with some numbers, just some random numbers, one after the other, displayed in this list. Okay, let's go to Android Studio and see how it's done. You will start by opening Android Studio and you will create a new project. It's going to be an empty activity project. If you don't know how to do that, if you need help, you can check any of my previous videos and it will be explained in detail. In this video, I will go straight to the list view, and once you open your project, this is what you will have displayed. You will have your project folder on the left side and you have 2 files opened. The main activity Java file with the code to be executed, and you have the activity main XML file, and this has the user interface. Of course, you can display it either in code view if it helps you to have the XML code, or you can have it in the design view, and this is what we'll be using now. So let's start working on the user interface. I'll just minimize the project folder on the left side. This way I have more space on the screen. I can zoom in a bit. And if you don't have something like this displayed, perhaps you have only the design view, you can just click on these double squares, overlapping squares, and then you can select to have the design, the blueprint, or both displayed. I usually go for both. I also make sure to have all the constraints displayed. It's helpful for me. Maybe it's going to help you as well. Okay, so let's start. We have the Hello World text view on the screen. It has some constraints, as you can see. You can just click on this button and clear all these constraints. You can just move the text view here towards the top of the screen. And going on the left side here to Legacy, you will find your list view, and you can just drag and drop this on your screen. Now your activity has, as you can see in the component tree, the constraint layout, and you have these 2 objects, a text view and the list view. Okay, let's start one by one with the constraint. What I usually do, I go and search for the margin attribute, and for layout margin, I'll give it a 20 dp. All right. Then you can go for the text view. Now the text view, the first thing you'll notice is very small, so you can just search for the text attribute. And you can find here the text size. You can increase it to whatever you like. I put it 34. Also, the text will need to be modified to, let's say, list view numbers. All right. Then what I want to do is just, let's put the text alignment to central, why not? And we can select the text view and we can set some constraints here for align. You can click on horizontally. You can also align it by selecting the constraint towards the top of the screen. You just click on the little bubble and then you just drag your arrow and leave it here in the upper part of the screen. Now this should be enough. Let's just give it an idea as well. We'll just call it a text view title. Going for the list view, you select it. Now we will set some constraints. You go for align and then you say horizontally. If you say vertically as well, now you have all the constraints set left and right, up and down. And as you can see, there is still space available here. So let's just increase the size of this list view. So here you have declared attributes on the right side. For the layout, let's just go for match constraint. So we have left and right occupying the entire space. And for the layout height, you can do the same match constraint. Now it goes all the way up. I think it would be a good idea to leave a bit of space between the text view and the list view. So I'll just give here like a 16 BP. This should be a bit of space. Looks good. We will change its name as well. So the list view will be called LV from list view numbers. So this is our user interface, very simple. You can just save your files. Okay, let's go to the main activity Java file and we will modify the code. And we'll start here inside the main activity with some variables. Starting with the text view, we'll just call it TV text view title. I'm going to click on the plus to expand here the part where you see the classes that have been imported to our project. You can see the text view is highlighted in red. You can click on it and then you can just hit Alt Enter and the proper class is imported into the project. Now there's no more error. Moving to the list view. And this is going to be the LV list view numbers. And we do the same, we import the necessary class. And we also need a string array. So we have a string array, and this will be SA from string array initial numbers. So this is where we will have the numbers that will initially populate the list view. Moving now to the onCreate method. Let's associate these variables with the objects on our user interface. So we'll say the text view title will equal find view by ID, resource ID, and from the list that will appear, you can just select the, this is the text view title. You just double click on it and you repeat for the list view. Of course, we have to define the initial numbers. So for this, we have this string array and we say string array initial numbers. And this is going to be a new string array. And for this initial example, the simple one, we'll just explicitly indicate the elements of this string array. And this will be just some random numbers. We'll say 0, 0, 0. And let's just copy and paste to make it faster. Okay, this is enough for the numbers. We have 15 elements. This should be more than enough for us to illustrate this example. So you have the text view with the title, you have the list view that will hold the numbers, and you have the string with all the numbers that we have to arrange to place inside the text view. For this, we will need a list adapter. So let's just define one of these. We'll just say array adapter. And this is going to be from Android widget. You double click. You will just say string here inside. And let's give it a name. I'm sorry. This is going to be a, let's say, list adapter. Coming back to the onCreate method, we'll just say that this list adapter, this will be equal to a new array adapter. As I said, we have a string here. And there are several parameters that we have to pass. So we will start with saying this. This will be the context. For example, you might say get application context. So this will be the application context. Then you have to specify how these items will be presented. What is the style of drawing these items, the items that make up the list. So for this, we say just go with something predefined. We say Android.R resource. This is a layout resource. And we're going to say, for example, simple list item 1. So we select this, and this will define how our list will look. And of course, we have to say the string array initial numbers. So just to clarify what you have here, this list adapter is responsible for taking the data, the information from a database or from some array or from whatever source it is. And this information, the adapter will take and it will insert inside the list view. Now, how it does that? It will take the application context. It will take indications regarding how exactly the list should look. And it will look in this default way as a simple list item. This is each item in particular will look like this. And the source that will be the place the information is taken from. In our next example, I will show you how to modify the aspect of a list. But for now, let's just keep it simple. So you have this adapter, and of course, you have to associate this adapter with the list view. And for this, you will just say list view numbers. And for this, you will just set adapter. You can double click here, set adapter, and you just provide the name of this adapter that we have just defined, the list view adapter. You just put it here. And this is all you have to do. Now we can save our files and selecting our virtual device. I have this Pixel API 24 virtual device. You can press the Run App button and let's see how our list looks. As you can see, our app is already loaded into the virtual device in the emulator. And you have the text view displayed on top, says list view numbers. And then you have all the numbers in the list item by item displayed. So you can just see the list. This is our first example. Our very first list. You can click on any of the items, but nothing is going to be executed. In our next example, I will show you how to modify the aspect of the list. So it will be displayed in a different way. You can customize the display. Do that by customizing each item. Actually, you will modify only one item, but then using that default way of drawing the list, item by item, the entire list will look as you have customized it. I will also teach you how to click on an item and perform some action and how to dynamically add and remove some items from the list. So for now, you have the simplest way of creating a list with predefined preset items and displayed on the screen. Until I see you in the next video, keep practicing, keep asking questions, and keep learning. Take care and see you in the next video.